We are paying more and we're owning less. We're basically renting access to our own lives. This week, a wave of tariffs went into effect, which is going to affect prices across the board in the United States and around the world. So as I'm recording this right now, there was a 90-day pause on those tariffs, but still, we don't know where that's gonna go. Overall though, prices have been going up for years and economists are really worried with or without tariffs that prices were gonna continue going up. With this, I wanna talk about subscriptions versus ownership and why I think we should be selective in terms of what we subscribe to and what we own. Let's talk about the subscription economy. According to Tech Target, the access of ownership was pitched as something of a convenience. That became so enticing to customers because it gave us flexibility to use stuff and then stop when we want. You could pull up Netflix, you could watch something wherever you want, whenever you want. Considering sometimes we have no choice lately, Adobe Creative Cloud, it's kind of difficult to opt in and opt out these days. But at the beginning, it was such a great convenience and it really changed the game for companies, movie theaters, etc. So there were upsides and downsides to both convenience, spending for the consumer, and profits for companies. I think without noticing though, we've gone toward renting almost everything now, whether it's, Spotify, and obviously all the streaming services for your movies and TV shows, even Ring doorbell cameras, sleep apps, car wash subscriptions, gym memberships. Those were the OG subscriptions though. Even BMW had this whole fallout with their customers because they basically forced you to subscribe and pay for some of the features that are in your car. In the car you bought, you have to pay basically for the rest of the life of the car to use the features that you paid for with the car. So that was a whole dramatic thing. I think that they stepped back from that because the outrage was just so heavy, which is totally understandable. According to CNR research, we're only aware of about 40% of that spending. So real life situations, Spotify had like a price hike, which I succumbed to because I am addicted. They have a chokehold on us, man, for real. And it's just such a convenient way to get it. But and maybe I'll do another video about this at some point, the whole can of worms with how much they pay their artists. And tariffs really just highlight how fragile this is because when prices shoot up, if you're not able to actually buy the thing you want, I think you are more susceptible to having to subscribe to something, or companies can find that more profitable for them to sell their subscriptions as an easy way into acquiring their product or service if you can't afford to buy it outright. According to subscription service statistics and costs research, an average consumer spends $133 a month on subscriptions, which is about $1,600 a year. Everything is like subscription based that it's almost like radical to collect physical anything. And I do want to say that it is important in terms of waste. I mean, I think in terms of the environment, tons of books, printing new books, movies, all of that. But I do think overall we really rely on digital platforms a little bit too much. The upside about those subscriptions is if you can't save up to buy something, let's say if you wanted Adobe Photoshop and you didn't want to shell out when they'd let you shell out $600, for example, to buy Photoshop, you could sign up for, the cloud subscription and you could use it for a year or however long that contract was, and then you could cancel it. Now, their whole subscription system has gotten way out of whack and I think it's very manipulative and takes advantage of customers. It's totally different landscape, but that's just an example. I think it's good if you want to use something short term, like let's say you want to binge White Lotus, you get a HBO Max subscription for a month or whenever, binge watch what you want, cancel it. So I think if you do that strategically, then it makes sense economically. I talked about this one in my Why I'm Buying Blu-rays in 2024 video that I did last year, but digital movies you bought disappearing from libraries. For example, Netflix this April is getting rid of another wave of movies and shows. So, for example, Space Jam, Baby Driver, Miss Congeniality, Interstellar, which I did a video about recently, which you could see here. It was a whole dramatic situation with me trying to drive 5 hours to see it in IMAX, and then it didn't work out, and then it did work out, and it was a lot. I think permanence is a thing nowadays. I think everything is so fleeting and we're so used to things coming and going and our attention is all over the place that I think it's important to just kind of keep that in mind and see, like, what do you want to keep? What do you want to hold and know that is yours and not have it be like taken away? There are a few things I have done to just make sure I have some of my favorite things and some things that I use. If I haven't said 500 times that I collect a lot of Blu-rays, a lot of movies. I bought a lot of books that I love, like books that I go back to. Regular books that I want to read once or I'm not that invested in, I will rent from the library, or if you want to use Libby, that's a great app to get audiobooks from your local library if you're in the United States. And if you want to buy books, I love thrift books. I've bought so many things from there, super cheap and really good conditions. You want to subscribe strategically, not 5 different services at once. I don't think any of us need Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu, this, that, and the other, like all at one time. But maybe, like I said, subscribe to HBO, watch White Lotus, end it, Apple TV, watch Severance, which I need to do. I think the key here is just to be more intentional with what we own and what we rent, because sometimes it's better to rent and sometimes it's better to own. So I think that in a world like this where prices are rising nonstop and probably going to rise more, actually owning what you love might be a good move, not just in terms of enjoying it, but also financially in the long run. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if this hit home, and let me know in the comments what you feel is worth owning, what you feel isn't, and I will see you in the next one.